So this is AMP2 Unit 1, Lab 4 for special circulations. The first one we're going to talk about is fetal circulation. And we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to label this diagram. I'm going to show you the picture from the book too. So we'll start with the fetus. So the umbilical cord has 2 arteries, 1 vein. Arteries are still undergoing their original function, carrying blood away from the baby's heart to the placenta. So the placenta is kind of functioning in place of the lungs at this point, because mom is doing the oxygen. So once the blood gets to placenta, gas exchange, baby gets everything. Now, waste from baby goes to mom. Now, they don't mix at this point. I know that's a little bit different than what we had with blood types. The exchange occurs in the capillaries of the placenta. So that would also mean that the antibodies, if mom has antibodies for baby's blood, if we're talking about the Rh positive and then a negative baby, you could still encounter that sort of situation. All right, so blood goes from the capillaries in the placenta, venules, veins, now back to baby in the umbilical vein. So it's got oxygen and nutrients, and it's going to go back to inferior cava and through a structure called the ductus venosus. There's a little bit that goes to the liver. Now we've got some shunts here because a baby's different than a person, or a person outside the womb anyway. So a fetus is. So the ductus venosus is the first shunt. It bypasses the liver. So the liver serves a function that we'll talk about in the hepatic portal circulation of helping to filter the blood from toxins. Now, since baby's getting all their nutrients from mom's liver is doing that work. Next, you have the foramen ovale. This is between the right and the left atrium. That means the blood doesn't have to go to the right ventricle and the lungs, because the lungs in the fetus aren't performing their function of gas exchange. That's done in the placenta instead. So most of what goes into the right atrium crosses over directly to the left side of the heart. This is what, if it doesn't close correctly, they call the hole in the heart, if it doesn't close. Now, the ductus arteriosus, so the blood that does go in the right ventricle and out the pulmonary trunk, is a little shunt that goes straight into the aorta rather than to the lungs.